Hey everybody, welcome back to Hard Life. Today I'm working on my E60 M5. I've decided to upgrade to the G30 brakes. There are two different upgrade paths on the E60 M5. Typically, it's either the F10 M5's brake package where you need the rotors, the calipers, and a set of spacers, or you can go with the G30 Msport brake package, like on the M550, which is where I got these from. And that you can still run the same 376 millimeter rotor from the M5. The only catch is you need to trim a tiny bit off of your brake pad, and that's what we're going to do today. So basically, everything that I have read, everywhere that I have looked, it is 5 millimeters that we need to trim off of the bottom of our brake pad. So what I went ahead and did is got out a little micrometer here to make sure I measure properly. So I've selected 5 millimeters on this. And I am just going to take and make my mark on each side. And truthfully speaking, I should have used a pen, a pencil on this. All right, now let's straight edge. Okay, there we are. So now that I have my 5 millimeter measured, I'm going to use just my standard cutoff saw that anytime you're using to cut off any bolt or anything. And once you get to the pad, it goes very quickly. Just getting through the backing plate takes a little bit of effort. So also, you don't want to breathe anything in that comes off that brake pad. Definitely not good to get in your lungs. So you're going to want to use proper respirator of some sort to filter this out. Do not take the chance in getting this in your lungs. One thing I want to say is that this is my first time doing it, and it is not that difficult. So if you have any concerns or fears, I say go for it. The back metal plate is really the only hard part to get through. And once you're through that metal plate, the pad cuts like butter. All right, so that time I made my mark a little bit better. You can see there. So that's my 5 mil. Now, obviously you want as much brake pad on the surface of the rotor as possible. When you're cutting these, one thing that I want to implore upon you is that use the Brembo wrapping that they send with this. Don't put your brake pad, don't expose your brake pad to the surface of anything. You don't want that, anything getting on that. That's probably one thing that I really should emphasize, is that you want to keep your brake pad surface clean while you're doing this. You don't need to get anything on it that could contaminate it. With a little extra effort, I have about $600 into this project compared to the $2,400 or so it would be with the F10 brakes.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. That's all four. All right. The last thing I want to mention about modifying and adapting the G30 Msport brakes onto the stock E60 M5 hubs using the stock rotors. You will need a 5mm spacer. This spacer is going to allow the rotor to be centered over the caliper. So it's just a simple 5mm spacer. You put it over where the bolts are so that it centers on the rotor, and that's it. 5mm there. Trim 5mm here. Taking these off, and that'll allow it to sit down on the top hat properly. Take it by removing these, and that's really it. Comparing, the F10 brakes are marginally better, and really you're only going to see it on a track, and this car will not be at that level on a track, so I'm not really going to need it. And it saved me $1,500 at least, if not more, by going this route instead of going with the F10 brakes. So that's where it's at. And as for what's next, I am going to be doing the valve cover gaskets here. So this is what comes next. I'm going to use ISTA as well as the shop manual, and I'm going to go along using the shop manual and on camera, and we're going to go step by step and replace these together. So I will probably get on that tomorrow. And that's it. All right, guys. We will see you on the next one.